Welcome to the 8th video lecture of Marketing Research, Semester 5, Module number 1. In today's lecture, we are going to study about diagnostic research. Diagnostic research is a type of research design which basically focuses its attention on the frequency of occurrence or association between variables. So what is diagnostic research design? Diagnostic research design or diagnostic research study basically determines the frequency, that is, frequency is very important, frequency of occurrence of something. So its main focus is on frequency of occurrence of something or its association with something else. So main 2 points what a diagnostic research design focuses is the frequency of occurrence of certain thing and its association with something else. From the research design point of view, the design of such studies should be very rigid and it should focus on certain points. What are these points? First one, the objective of study. What is the objective of the study? That is, what study is about and why is it being made. So this is important. Apart from this, the other focus areas of diagnostic research design are the methods of collection of data, that is whether it is quantitative data, qualitative data, what are the techniques of data collection, whether we are gonna go for interviews, surveys or any other methods, maybe observation. Then the third point is sample selection. How are we gonna select our sample? Which is the technique that we are going to use a sample to select the sample, whether it is going to be a judgmental sample or it is going to be a lottery method. So what is the sampling technique that we are going to use? The fourth point is data collection, where the required data can be found, that is where are we going to go and collect data and with what time frequency should we collect the data that is related to our research. Then the next point is about data processing and analysis. Data processing and analysis, what are the various process, that is what are the various steps we are gonna do in data collection, processing and analysis. And lastly, the reporting of the research, that is reporting the findings to the management. So basically, as we have already studied, diagnostic study mainly focuses on the frequency of occurrence of a variable. So the frequency with which something, that is some variable, occurs, that is what it is studies, or whether it is associated with something else, some other variable, that is being studied. That is, if there are two variables, say x and y, that we are going to study, then if we see x that happening, then how often do we see y? Here again, how often do we see y? We are counting, and also we are trying to find out association between x and y, that is we are trying to correlate x and y. Example of such kind of research are men more likely to speak at group interviews or group meetings, or maybe in a group case study solving, group discussion? So if we want to analyze this and we want to find out whether men speak more, then there are various ways we can do. The first one is by observation. We can conduct a mock group discussion or a group meeting and count the number of comments that we get from the participants just by gender. Male, how many men out of the group have given comments or their opinions, and how many this female have given their opinions. The other technique what we can use is by questionnaire or interviews. We can directly ask them, the respondents, whether in a group discussion how likely are you, how likely it is that you will present your opinion or your views about a particular topic. But a problem with such kind of direct questioning with the respondents is that the respondents might be biased. Many times people say that yes, I give my opinion free of without any fear. So this might be a bias, that is a responder bias that may come. The other technique that we are going to use is examination of records. Simply that is a secondary data that we are going to use. Simply instead of conducting an observation mock group discussion, or having questionnaires, or maybe having, instead of having interviews, what you can do is you can go to previous meetings which of the company, or maybe any other company or data, that is the secondary research you are going to get, and you just count the number of motions that have been made in the meeting by male, and how many motions have been done by female candidates in the meeting. So once you do this, you can get this secondary data, and based upon the secondary data you can come up with certain research findings. So to wrap up today's lecture, diagnostic research design, it mainly focuses on the frequency with which certain thing happens. Frequency is the count, how many times a certain thing happens, how many times a variable shows up in the research. And also the second focus area of diagnostic research design is its association with some other variable. Suppose if x is a variable and y is one more variable, if x happens, then how many times y happens. So when we are doing this kind of a research, this is nothing but diagnostic research design. So with this we end today's video lecture. Hope you understood what is diagnostic research design along with this example. In the next video lecture we'll see some other types of research designs.